Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition of Gate 7 International. I will be your host for tonight, Kostas Lianos, or Kostas with a K if that turns you on. And I am joined by none other than my dear co host and journalist from La Nouvelle République, Martial Debo. How are you, Martial, today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I was more fine at the beginning of the day than at the end of the day, but I'm okay.
Well, I mean, we got to laugh. We got to try and find a bit of humor in all of this situation. It could have been worse. It could have been way better. But before we delve into all of that, we got quite a lot of things to cover today because the news keep rolling when it comes to Olympiacos. But before we get to this, let's do some really good quick housekeeping here, you guys. If you haven't done so already, please do like and subscribe. This really helps the algorithm. This really helps the channel grow. I've said it so many times, Marcial. I mean, and I think, Marcial, you yourself are living proof of that. I mean, there's Olympiacos fans all over the planet.
That's
Uh,
true.
with Greek heritage, Greeks who have moved to different countries, or even non-Greeks at all. Or there's Olympiacos everywhere. I mean, Marcial, I don't know if you have had this experience. I mean, me going to the Karaiskak and meeting people from Australia, from New Zealand, from the
That's
US,
true.
from Africa, who are Olympiacos fans, it's insane. So, guys, let's keep this channel growing. And if you haven't done so already, please do support us on Patreon. That is patreon.com/gate7intl. You will get to see some amazing exclusive content from our most recent interviews. You're going to be getting a lot of the cool stats. You're always going to be on the first line for those cool stats. And more importantly, in my opinion, Marcial, they're joining our WhatsApp group, which is full of banter, and also we get to tell you all the things we cannot tell on camera. Isn't that right, Marcial?
That's more than right. That's a group that worth to pay for it, in my opinion.
And also Labros's rants off camera. I mean, come on, you can't beat that. You can't beat that.
No, you can't. You can't.
So, Marcial, my good friend, like we said, this has been a very busy week for Olympiacos. Before we get into the match, which we have a lot to say, in case anybody has been living under a rock, Olympiacos have appointed Alexis Kougias into the club. Kougias, of course, one of the most famous, if not the most famous, lawyers in all of Greece. No stranger into football, having previously taken over various teams such as Larissa, his most recent venture. He was supposed to take over Iraklis, but pulled out of that deal. What Olympiacos have told us, have told everyone, based on the most recent announcement, is that Kougias is going to be Olympiacos' legal counsel and legal representative, and also the club's newest vice president, who's going to be representing Olympiacos in the Super League meetings. Now, I had a little chat with a few sources earlier today to find out what is it exactly that Alexis Kougias will be doing in Greece. Because, I mean, as everybody knows, Marcial, in Greece, roles and titles mean nothing. I could be the president of any club in all of Greece, and I could still have 10 people above me in more senior roles, at least off paper. So, what is Alexis Kougias doing right now? Based on the sources I have spoken to, one source told me that hopefully that what he's going to be doing basically is he is going to be how do I put this mildly? He's there to swim. He's joined Olympiacos to swim with the sharks. He's joined Olympiacos because he knows how the Greek Super League works. He knows how Olympiacos opponents work, and he's there to swim with those sharks. I asked my sources, any chance Kougias could interfere with sporting director Pedro Alves and manager Carlos Carvalhal's work? One of them said, hopefully not, but chances are overwhelmingly in favor of him not interfering. And the other one said, no chance whatsoever of this happening at all, which is a good thing because uh, before I pass the baton over to you, Marcial, because you also have a lot of knowledge of how Kougias did at Larissa. Personally, I'm not happy with that appointment at all. As Kostas Lianos, I am not happy with that appointment. I don't want to get into too much detail about it, but it's the reputation that precedes, and I don't think this is what Olympiacos needs right now. But on the other hand, I did talk to Aris the other day and told him how important it is to have a chairman, a chairman type at Olympiacos to help get a lot of the day-to-day tasks off Marinakis' hands because he's too busy with Nottingham Forest, with his maritime business, with his politics as a local councillor for Piraeus. Also, he's taking over Rio Ave. He's taking over Monza probably. And if Olympiacos were to have a chairman, they needed a junkyard dog. They couldn't have a Boy Scout like you and me, Marcial. They needed a junkyard dog, someone to swim with the sharks, which is what Kougias is going to do. And unfortunately, when it comes to Greece, well, it is what it is. So, Marcial, do tell me how you remember Kougias at Laris, and also do give me your own personal opinion about this appointment.
Well, you pretty much said it all for me. I don't really appreciate his personality or what he kind of represents, but we probably needed someone that would be able to play with the Sharks, as you said, like to win cases in front of courts, to win those kind of stuff. And the most important thing is for Kougias to stay away from football-related decisions, as you said, because if you remember what he did in Larissa, at the end of it, it was like bringing 10 players in the winter, resigning them after like 4 or 5 games, bringing 10 more players in the summer. He is no sports director. He is probably someone that could be a president of a smaller Greek club, Super League Greek club, but I don't really have an opinion on that because probably the future would tell if it's a good appointment or not. We probably needed some upgrade in the legal area, given how many cases we lost recently. I'm not going to mention all of them, but like the Panathinaikos game and stuff, you have to have someone that knows the rules, that knows to bypass the rule and stuff to be inside the club, and probably Kougias is there for that. So I don't really have an opinion. I'm not very happy about it, as you said too. But we have major issues for me inside the team. I mean, if we speak purely about football and sports, and the rest of it is just when you see the Super League new, it's just the beginning of the show, if I can say that.
Mm-hmm. And the timing is quite good because we are about to have a huge return at Gate 7 International. I cannot remember the last time we saw him. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you're not going to believe it. It's none other than Gate 7 International's biggest superstar and everyone's favorite host, Labros Irmos. Hey, what's that? What's that supposed to mean? What's that, man?
Work.
I just gave you an awesome intro, man.
No, thank you so much. Does this work? I haven't used it in so long.
Yeah, man. I
You can hear me?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Hey guys.
I don't know
what's
if you've
happening?
heard anything. I don't know if you've heard
No,
me and
I
Marcial
was
chat
finishing up
about
with
Alex
work.
Kougias. What's your opinion about this new appointment?
I'm just checking because I'm making espresso on the stove like an Italian as well, so I'm looking over my shoulder. God, I haven't thought a lot about it, to be honest. I think it's quite depressing. I think he's quite a... Maybe I should save my words because he could sue me.
Join us on Patreon, guys. Join us on Patreon. Join our WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I don't want to say because I don't want to get sued, but I think he's quite... I think I won't be sued by saying he's quite a poor manager at football. He's done a really poor job of managing teams. Some of his legal cases, I think that's what he's famous for. He's done a really good job, even if it's controversial. And he plays a bit, dirty, I guess, what can you do? I guess he's assumed to be the best lawyer in Greece, so the club needs someone to represent them with a legal background, and that's what we see. I think it makes... I don't know. I just don't like having a character like him in the club personally. But as a lot of people say, maybe it's the type of person you need when you deal with the shenanigans in Greek football. So let's see. I don't remember him ever being very successful dealing with EPO and other things as a club owner. But maybe the difference being at Olympiacos, he can do much better. So I don't know.
Well, yeah, like I said though, before you joined, I don't know if you heard that. I mean, my sources tell me that he is there on a legal capacity and representing Olympiacos in the Super League meetings. Like I told Marcial, he's there to swim with the sharks, basically. So
Yeah.
he's not going to be involved with sporting director Pedro Alves' work, neither manager Carlos Carvalhal's work, based on my sources. Speaking of Alves, there's something I do need to say. Antonio Cordon, who was supposed to be a sporting director for years to come and build this team, I can confirm that he is dealing with a serious family matter that started during the summer and did cost him a lot of work during the summer. He didn't work during a great length of the summer because of those family problems. But Vangelis Marinakis has stood by his side completely and is still standing by his side. So Alves' appointment was needed. It wasn't a case of, oh, hey, I need Cordon at Nottingham Forest, for example. It was a case of, well, we need someone in this position, and unfortunately, Cordon cannot do it right now. So that's why Alves is where he is. And that's what I know regarding the newest club shakeup. It's in a legal capacity. He's going to be in the Super League meetings, and he will not be dealing with Alves and Carvalhal. Another person who won't be dealing with Alves and Carvalhal anymore is everyone's favorite skater, Gustavo Scarpa, who is no longer part of the team. The information we're getting in Greece is that he is done not only at Olympiacos but also Nottingham Forest. His loan stint ends at Olympiacos, and Nottingham Forest have come up with a deal with Atletico Mineiro to sell him for €5 million. That's 4.3 million pounds in total. And we are hearing rumors he has signed a 4-year contract worth north of £7 million. So I guess I'm going to start with Labros on this one. Labro, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much are you going to miss him?
0. But honestly, I was thinking as we were getting blowback on our end of game tweet today about how useful it would have been to have someone like him or Solbakken on the bench today. I'm not going to miss Scarpa at all. I think he's like one of those typical flops, who comes to Europe and just does not work, He has he had those issues where he was caught in a cryptocurrency scam, and he just never felt serious, like he actually cared. Martial could smell him from the beginning to be a major fraud. I remember, Martial has a good record of smelling frauds from right away. And hold up, my coffee's coming, so he'll explain more to you.
The thing is, we went with Labros in Kalamata this summer, and we went to a bar to see the games. The first game, I think it was the first game against Topola, in which Scarpa came in, and I was saying it looks.
Was it Sukaritski? Sorry.
Sukaritski. Sorry. And I say to Labros, he looks lost. He was running on the pitch without belonging to the team. He barely was able to make a single touch, a single pass, a single dribble. And the issue I have with Scarpa is that he made a terrible choice by joining Nottingham, because probably he should have done what Rodinei did, coming off good things in Brazil. You need to go into a powerful team in Europe. And Premier League, when you see Scarpa, Premier League is not what is not where he belongs. And probably if he came straight to Olympiacos, even in January, it would have been better for him, because sometimes you can see that he has some quality in his feet. He's a good player sometimes, but it's not made for Europe, and his head is already gone elsewhere. So the only issue I have with Scarpa and Solbakken too is that when you cut those players, you have to do it after the very last game. Scarpa is injured, so it's not true for him, but Solbakken tonight probably would have been useful for the team. You can't cut players in the middle of the 6 months period for me.
Yeah, I got my coffee. I think that's right. It's just so the whole thing with Scarpa was so disappointing from the start. I think Martial will remember back in Greece in August, we spoke with an unnamed player. I'll say, leave it at that, who said, yeah, these guys from South America are good, but they've never played in Europe, so who knows how good they are. Like, who knows how fast they groove into European football. And he said the club has made a mistake signing these players from South America who are unproven. They can turn out very good, but some of them can turn out to flops really easily. And then it can bring down the locker room because they're kind of throwing a fit, and voila, what happens? Scarpa fucking flopped real quick, and another thing was just too many loans as well. You see that as well. So Bakken, the moment he realized he wasn't going to get the playing time and wasn't going anywhere real quick, he completely checked out and was a waste of space. And it's just, of course, Brinic didn't show anything good tonight, but what do you expect from a player who you give like 45 minutes after he wasn't in the squad lists all first half of the season? It's just disappointing, like usual at Olympiacos. But what can you do? What can you do?
Bringing player that does not want to be here. It's the thing Olympiacos needs to stop, man.
It's what we do best, is bringing players who don't want to be here. And I remember, and I will drop the name here, Mathieu Valbuena said to you when we were speaking with him, and he said, it's really easy to smell. Like, I think he said smell. You do the, if a player or a manager will succeed at Olympiacos, he was like, I can tell right away if a player has it, if a player's talented. And he's like, so many players that they bring, sometimes you can smell right away that they don't want to be there. They don't care. They don't take it serious, and they're going to flop. And he's like, that's the biggest thing when you sign players to Olympiacos. You need to have strong mentality and players who want to be there, or else they're going to be shit players, even if they have a big profile and big name. And fuck, it's so true. It's so true. Like, having that talent to be able to say, screw Solbakken, he doesn't want to be here. We may sign a shittier winger who wants to be here. It's a better move. It's a better move than signing Solbakken and wasting everyone's time. So I don't know how they get past this, but who knows?
Well, I mean, I think go ahead, man.
No, what do you think about it? That was my
question. Can I say one thing? On the contrary, look, like Despodov, who maybe, like, in theory is a bit worse than Solbakken. Solbakken came from Roma, but Despodov came to Greece and obviously wanted to play. I think he scored 2 goals again today. Like, this is a player who knows how to score in the Balkans, knows football. We've seen him play in Europe. And it's like the difference is so clear. It's such a mistake by us to go for the reject of Roma instead of maybe Pauka bid us. But like, it's just an example there of a player. Despodov would be so valuable to a club like Olympiacos, knows Balkan football, plays well, played well against us in Europe, knows Europa, knows Conference League. That player for me is more valuable than a reject of Roma. I don't know about your guys' opinion. Maybe you think we should keep signing those players, but for me, it's just like, what would Solbakken ever be for Olympiacos? I don't know personally. So,
well, a big hello to Dor on tour here, a good friend from on the podcast, by Scarpa. He's like I said, he's leaving both Olympiacos' loan ends, and he's also leaving Nottingham Forest to return to Brazil. I mean, you guys have pretty much covered it all for me, really. When it comes to Scarpa, I think mainly he probably didn't like also the fact that he was being passed around like this. He's the kind of player that just wanted to join the team, especially Nottingham Forest, because they were in the Premier League, and just stay there and build his career. But instead, they sent him back to they sent him to Olympiacos on loan. I said that on the WhatsApp group that Scarpa, in my opinion, never knew where he was. None of us ever knew where Scarpa was going, and I think he didn't know where he was going. And when he was at Olympiacos, he also didn't know where he was going to end up. And I feel this unending uncertainty about him probably got to him. His body language, to me as well, showed that he didn't really want to be at Olympiacos. You could see the way he played; he wasn't really passionate about it, and that's the kind of players that Olympiacos love. They love passionate players who love the team, and they just leave it all on the pitch. When a Brazilian comes in, we cannot help but compare them to Giovanni, to Rivaldo, to all the great Brazilians that have played for Olympiacos. any Brazilian who comes at Olympiacos will be subject to that comparison. Scarpa was subject to it and failed to live up to that from very, very early. We filled ourselves with number 10s again. I told you about Cordon being unable to work most of the summer, and Scarpa is one of the living proof that shows that was the case during the summer. That was very unfortunate right there. And obviously, Gate 7 International wishes Antonio Cordon all the best, and hope he'll be back to work real soon, and his matter will be resolved in the best way possible. But yeah, I mean, Scarpa is gone. There was no other way. Olympiacos were never going to make any profit out of him because he was on loan. He's out of the team, so it's good that we're deflating the squad right now, because we're going to get to this a little later. Olympiacos are set for another busy January transfer window. But before we get there, guys, we are going to the main course of the evening, which is the match at Peristeri. Olympiacos, Atromitos, Olympiacos 0-0. Another hapless, disappointing, uninspiring performance by the guys. Carlos Carvalhal in his second league match, third match overall in charge. A surprising lineup, though. It was a 4-2-3-1, was it, or was it a 4-4-1-1 situation with Paschalakis in goal, Rodine at right back, Ortega at left back, Andreas Doi with Panos Retsos at center back. Then here's where the surprises begin. Santiago is at number 6, and at number 8/number 10, it was João Carvalho. I needed to look at the lineup twice to recognize to see what happened there. Daniel Podence on the right, and here's another surprise, you guys. Ivan Brinic on the left, with Yorgos Masouras and El Kabi pretty much playing up front, with Masouras a little behind El Kabi. I mean, here's for me, guys, before I pass on the baton about the lineup at least, here's where the compliments start and end for me for Carvalhal tonight. And that is that Carvalhal's lineup shows to me that he is not being told who to pick on his lineup. Because the guy picked the one player Diego Martinez would not pick in his squad overall. That's Ivan Brinic. And he started Carvalho in midfield in a number 8/number 10 kind of position. The fact alone that we had Brinic in the lineup, to me, shows that Carvalhal is working independently. So, Marcial, we're starting with you this time. What did you think of Carvalhal's lineup?
Well, given the absence he had on the squad, I wasn't surprised that much. The only thing that worried me at first was Bianconi not starting again, because sometimes I wonder how the club thinks on a daily basis, because we've been struggling with the center backs since this summer. You have one center back that has been at least consistent. I'm not saying it was excellent, but it was consistent. So you drop him to put back Ndoye and Retsos, which is probably the principal center back pair for the club right now. And then you put Carvalho in, which is, I don't remember Carvalho being good one time. Like
Rangers, that friendly with Rangers.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true.
It's a friendly.
A part of that, you could have probably used Alexandropoulos in the midfield, or I don't know, maybe someone else. And a part of that, the lineup was okay for me. The issue, but I think we'll talk about it later, is the subs it did not make during the game. And also the fact that the way he handled that game shows that he's not really eager to take risks. And it looks, I'm not saying it's a red flag, but it kind of looked like a red flag to me, because you're playing Atromitos. Atromitos didn't have any situation apart from the crossbar in the second half. They weren't that threatening for the team, in my opinion. And you just have to risk sometimes. And when I say risk, probably using someone like Vrusai. He has been playing with the B team, so he has rhythm on his feet. Vrusai is not a top player, but he can be helpful sometimes from time to time. And yeah, you just had to take more risks today. And it kind of worried me, because I do feel that it can be dangerous for the future. If you're not using the bench when the bench is dry, what's the point of having like Halgasimba under contract? What's the point of having Vrusai under contract? What's the point of having I don't know, but so many questions without answers. I'm starting to have headaches.
Yeah.
But the answer of all of that is, I'm seeing the comment you just put on. You don't build a team with loans. No one does, and Olympiacos is not an exception to that. Because loans, at the end of it, they cost so much money. People do not realize at first how much money a loan that does not work costs to the club.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Being one example.
Absolutely. Labro, what are your questions from the lineup, and do they give you headaches?
No, though, you straight away saw it. Mari Camara was out. Was it after Freiburg I was on? I don't remember when I went through the lineup.
You were
and I
after
was like,
Freiburg, yeah.
I was like, who the fuck do you want to see in this team like for more than a year from now? And from that lineup in Freiburg, I listed like 4 players. And a lot of those players were out today. And then you start to look around, and it's just, there's nothing left. The problem there is the team build was poor from the summer, and it's a shame to say, but Antonio Cordon built a shit team. Like, the central defender's not good enough. The wingers were not good enough. Solbakken wasn't good enough, or didn't have the mentality. Scarpa, I don't know what the deal was there with Force, but he didn't have the mentality either. Richards is only starting to play now. Kini and Dibora are going to be discarded. So you look at the bench. My disappointment with Carvajal today was just an absolute fear to play someone other than maybe the 18 guys that Diego Martinez had left him. And with Fortunis gone, the savior of Olympiacos this season is Fortunis, who is just so good against low block and Greek opposition. Like, he has made his career beating mid to low tier Greek football teams. Like, he knows how to do it. Like, he has done this for over 10 years. If he knows one thing, it is developing goals and scoring versus this type of team. And without him there, without Pep Biel, who has left a lot to be desired this season as well, you start to look around and you say, who is going to produce a goal?
I think that's all right now. I think we can drop F.
Yeah, I'll say it. Who the fuck is going to create a goal?
It's not for kids. It's not for kids.
It's not for kids. Who is going to create a goal in this team? Heze's not creating a goal. That's for sure. Your only path is Rodinei and the fullbacks, maybe. Masuras is not creating a goal. He may score a goal. El Kaabi for sure. El Kaabi is like a shittier version of Miguel Angel Guerrero, which is fine, but he can't be your best striker, your starting striker, right? The club completely fucked it this summer by bringing in Jovetic, who, God bless his soul, is either injured, inconsistent, is not played, but the club needed to spend money this summer on a striker. Again, you can't get away with El Kaabi, and they're exposed tonight with El Kaabi. And, you know, what are you going to do? João Carvalho probably played because he's Portuguese. Like, I'm not even going to lie. That's probably why he fucking played. The manager made a connection. Diego Martinez semi-liked him, and he said, okay, screw it. This guy used to be a 10 and used to be considered a wonder kid. Let's give him a go. Because I just do not understand what he is still doing around the club. What do you say, Martial? You're on mute.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the question I have is how Olympiacos coaches operates on a daily basis, because like if you face a lot of injuries like that, like just go to Renty, just go to the B team training, to B team games, to under 19 games. Man, it's all of coaches do that. Like, you just go to trainings, to games, to see which players can offer you like immediate solution just on the bench, and to play like 20 minutes, like Kostulas, like Muzakitis in the midfield, to bring that energy, that playing without the fear that the team might face right now after changing the coach. And I'm wondering what Carvajal is just going to the locker room, to the pitch for the training, then back to the locker room, and then he go back to his home. Like, how it's possible for a coach not to involve himself more into the club in general? Like, I'm not someone like Mitchell is not a big coach, but when he came, he probably said to himself, okay, there is this kid from the B team, which is Endoy. He can offer for the first team, so let's promote him. Like, let's send a message to the club that I will look for the B team players. And if you remember, it took Dabo for the Spain training camp we had during the World Cup break. And when we will see a coach of Olympiacos that comes and say, I will use B team players for trainings and put them on the mission. We had no midfield today. Like, it was Iborra on the bench, Iborra that would probably be gone in January, with Carvalho playing, with Alexandropoulos on the bench. It's not possible. No one does that.
Yeah.
You need to
No, I think
involve more the club.
every club in Europe, you would see a young player come in today, and would they succeed? Would Ba have scored? Probably not. But Masouras there at the end could play for 3 years and he wasn't going to score. I'm just so it makes no sense. And this is the comment Martial was wanting completely, right? Like Bento did with Retos and others. Yes. And we've talked a lot about it on the show. Go on, Martial. I know you.
Imagine you're building a house and you have like a pile of material outside you can use to build something. Like, would you not try to use pieces of it to build something inside? Maybe it could be useful. Maybe if you build a kitchen with the wood you have outside your house, it will be shit. Okay. But maybe you can try and it will be awesome at the end of it. And when Bento throw Retos for the first time, what if Retos got a red card after 15 minutes? He would be playing for, I don't know, for Kifisia or shit Greek club right now, because he would have failed in the first game. But when you take that chance, and imagine Ba came in and scored a winner tonight.
Carvalhal would be career making, yeah.
Yeah, it's career making for him. And then Carvalhal looks like a genius. Instead, you stick with Masouras. Honestly, at some point you were watching tonight, and it's just it made also Carvalho disappeared at some point. Like, the midfield needed some pace, needed something. It was just recycling of the ball. Also, Omar Richards is there. If you don't trust Ba, why don't you take Masouras off and put Richards at the wing? Because he did that versus, was it Topola? I guess he did that. It just was like almost like throwing up the white flag, making no change. I think that's like what I saw. It was just like, I have no ideas. These are the players I trust. And it goes, well, fuck, if these are the players you're going to trust, that means we have to sign 6 or 7 players in January. And what club has ever been successful signing 6 or 7 players in January? So,
yeah. Well,
just so disappointing tonight. I honestly, with BL and Fortunis being out, we shouldn't expect anything else. But also, Atromitos didn't have 2 of their main starters in Koundé and Agi Bukamara. That's like their midfield right there. So,
I just want to add something on that comment, especially because I can't agree more with that. I've been saying many times, when we need solutions for the rotation, meaning games like tonight, because tonight it was a game for the rotation, because you have key players missing. There is plenty of Greek players we could have signed this summer. Siopis is one of them. Koulouris is one of them. He's no top striker, but if you need second or third striker off the bench for the Super League, decent solution. Gutas was available on a free. Likoyanis will be available on the free next summer. You have 4 or 5 Greek players abroad that could play 25 to 30 games with Olympiacos, if not more, because we have Europe, we have the Greek Cup games. And instead of that, we brought Kini that will be gone in January. We brought Iborra that will be gone in January. We brought Solbakken, we brought Scarpa, Richard, even Brdnic at the end of it because he's not playing. So it's.
But even Fadiga, I think Fadiga is better than Carvalho, in my opinion. I was watching.
Fadiga was a bit inconsistent though at Ionikos. He wasn't
I
like
thought,
I spoke
but
to
you
people
watch
at
him.
Ionikos and he didn't exactly live up to par there for them.
I really enjoyed whenever I watched him play. I just personally, I see room for a player who is 20, 21, who has talent clearly and performed decently well in the league to be in the team. It's just disappointing that he was cut before he even got a chance to show anything, and now he's wasting away in the club. They didn't even loan him. But these are all deeper issues. This isn't about today.
No, I mean the thing. I think you guys are making a really good point about those kind of players. But of course, Brinic is proof that just because you actually start him doesn't mean that he's going to hit the ground running and prove to you, hey, Diego Martinez, right here, you didn't believe in me all this time. Now up yours. Ivan Brinic did not set the world alight today. It was not an impressive performance, in my opinion, and this just goes as proof that you need to invest in this town. You need to trust them. You need to give them a future. There needs to be a plan. Everybody wants to see every Olympiacos fan, the right man, wants to see the Kostoulas brothers, Mouzakitis, Bagallanis, Kalogeropoulos, Sabouzis, Ba. I'm definitely missing someone coming in. But me personally, looking at greater clubs, admittedly, who invested in youth and academy. I'm looking at Man United, the class of 92. When the class of 92 came in, they found Pallister, they found Bruce, they found Cantona, Ince, Mark Hughes was there. They found a group of players that helped them transition, that mentored them. You look at Arsenal, Ashley Cole, Cesc Fabregas. When they came in, there was Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Freddy Ljungberg, Robert Pires, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain later on, with Theo Walcott when they came on. They had Robin van Persie in there. They had Arsene Wenger was also the manager over there. So yes, I want the B team players to come in, and I want them to succeed because absolutely we need to invest in Greek talent. But obviously, there needs to be patience. We cannot expect them hitting the ground running. Algassim Ba, like you said, he'd probably suck in his debut as well. We don't know. Maybe he would have scored the winning goal. But the thing is, they need to start from somewhere. And when it comes to Carvalhal, before we move on, I feel like we cannot blame him too much because, like I said, this guy has come in and he's thrown Band-Aids everywhere. This is not his team. This is someone else's team. And he's doing the job on the fly right now. Those aren't his players. He's still learning. And it makes sense that he's just trusting what has worked for Olympiacos all this time. And today he didn't have his best player, the one player that brings the goals in Kostas Fortounis. Today's game just exposed how important Fortounis is. I was very furious that Pepiel wasn't there, not because he was lazy or anything. He was ill, fair enough. I was very much looking forward to seeing Pepiel finally getting his chance as a number 10 or even as a false 9 next to El Kabi, finally getting his chance. Because Pepiel is not the player like El Kabi where he's just at the right place, the right time, and just needs the good ball from Fortounis because he's our best distributor. He's the kind of player, Biel is the kind of player who's going to take the ball, he's going to run with it, he's going to position himself, he's going to switch the ball, he's going to make the key pass through. So yeah, yes, Carvalhal was a bit unlucky with the absences. Yes, Carvalhal is learning, but still, the fact that he made no changes throughout the match except for Jovetic, who I do want to speak about Jovetic with you guys because Jovetic, if he's not a talisman for Montenegro, he is something like that. I mean, if you look at these last 4 games, he's got like 2 goals and 2 assists. There is a way of unlocking something out of Jovetic and making him score goals or create assists, but we can't find it. And when he came on, he was far more influential than El Kabi was throughout the entire first half. He had a good shot in his first touch with the ball. I don't think he was half bad at all. So what do you guys make of Jovetic? Should he join Ola Solbakken and Gustavo Scarpa out of the club, or is he a player we can do something with? We're going to start with Labro this time.
No, for me, he showed. I think he was quite good today, actually. The only problem today was he had to come so deep to collect the ball and distribute that at times he was missing from the box for the crosses or for other things like that. I remember he had a switch of play to Rodinei, and then he put the cross in, he wasn't in the box. So it's, yeah. I also will say from Gerasimos said, guys, Biel has had plenty of chance. Let's be real. I cannot agree more. Like, I haven't been a big supporter of this guy. Yeah.
But he wasn't bad last season.
And
Last
I'm
season,
ready.
he made good numbers last season.
No, but
He
I'm
really
ready
did.
to say it to his face. Like, if I go to the stadium and says, you look like a dead body out there, it's time for you to go. Like, I'm so ready to say it to his face. I'm not even, because
But he was
I'm
good
so,
last season. The numbers were good, all things considered.
he has no future at the club. I'm sorry, Costa. Like, that's just the future you can, like, when you see the guy up close, there's nothing there. Like, he has no future at the club. Anyway, but I think he's gone anyway. I want to bring something up. I'm reading the news, the Sport 24, and Panos Retsos is complaining about VAR saying Olympiacos should have had 2 or 3 penalties today.
Yeah.
In Peristeri, and talking about that. And
No.
I don't want to, I'm going to try to say this calm, and I just want to say, Panos Retsos, maybe that's why you play for Olympiacos at 25 instead of somewhere else in Europe. Like, maybe you need to go look in the mirror, man. Like, maybe whining about VAR and the referee is why your career never went anywhere, and you're back in Greece playing for Olympiacos. So,
well, he is a very good player, and he had a lot of injuries. He had a lot of injuries.
But his career, maybe he never had the mentality to go anywhere, and that shows the mentality right there. That the first thing he says is blame.
That's
blaming
just
the
something
referees.
Everybody does, though.
honestly, no. I think he
Pep,
has a
Pep
weak
Guardiola and
mentality.
Jurgen Klopp always moan on their post-match press
No, but I
conferences
think
about
Retsos,
VAR.
there's a reason.
Mikel Arteta, my God, Jesus.
No, Retsos is weak mentality, warrior, and the fact that he doesn't come out and say, you know what, we didn't play good enough, we need to be better, we didn't finish our chances, just not good enough.
Dude, you're bringing it to yourself.
No, man, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone here, but go enjoy Nikos Vertis on freaking Christmas and come back to us in the new year fresh and ready to go.
Hola, bro. They're starting. They're starting.
I also think Retsos needs a second person to show him how to play football, maybe, or to lead him. So good for him.
Martial, we touched on 3 different
anyway,
players
go
here.
go Martial. I just read the statements. Yeah.
Jovetic, Retsos. Who's the other one? Jovetic, Retsos, and Pep Biel. Your opinion?
Starting on Jovetic, I would say I would be happy to keep him, but we by admitting that he has to be the one that can play at the position Fortounis is playing, because to me, Jovetic is the most creative offensive player we have apart from Fortounis, but he's not a striker, because we've seen it tonight, like the way he was coming back to get the ball, the differences he was able to create. He has a touch, he has nice technique, he has a nice way of using the ball. So I would keep him, but we need a striker because he can't play as a striker. Then on Biel, to me, he has been done since last season, because I was a big fan of Biel before he came, and I remember with Lambros again, we watched on the Greek TV. I think it was Trabzonspor Copenhagen in the Champions League playoff 2 years ago. And I remember exactly saying to Lambros, like, just look at this player, Pep Biel is good, because I knew he had insane number in Denmark, because sometimes I spend time on transfer market, bouncing from clubs to clubs to see if I can find some players I wasn't aware of. And I found this guy like Pep Biel, Spanish guy playing in Denmark. So when he signed in the summer, I was very excited, very happy. But very quickly, I knew he wasn't like made for the club, for the madness, if I can say that, of Olympiacos. He's not El Arabi. He doesn't have that ability to be good when the situation around him is very messy, unclear. Like he can't. I don't know how to say that. He's too soft. He's too. It belongs. That's why he was probably that good in Denmark, because to me, and I might be wrong, but Denmark league looks like something very organized, very. Everyone is. I don't know to say that, but it's easier for him to be better in Denmark than in Greece. And also, I kind of feel that it let himself go down when the difficulty arose last season. I remember saying, you remember the time like Fortunis got elbowed against Panathinaikos, and like you had Biel walking around him like with the head down and not defending Fortunis, not defending the club. And I think he did not understood what it means to play for Olympiacos, because you have to offer something more. And I've seen a comment about Valbuena, and I think that's something we lost on the team, because I don't care how old Valbuena is. It's not a matter of age. He was loved by the fan because he had something more than football. And Biel does not have that. He's a good player. I'm sure he will bounce back elsewhere, maybe in a more organized league, in a more organized club, because some players needs more organized environments to be better. And it will be gone in January, I'm sure of it. And the last part on Red Sauce, I don't have really an opinion, but I do appreciate the guy, first of all, because it's a good. He belongs to the category of players like Masouras, like Kutris, like Bouchalakis, good guys first. He definitely needs a good center back next to him to be better. And sometimes I wonder if he would be better as a defensive midfielder, because he has a nice passing skill, or maybe with the three center backs defense, if it's
He was
worked
good when
properly.
he went forward. He was really good when he went forward on down the wing on the right.
And also, I don't want him to be gone, because he kind of
He can't be. What are you going to do? Play with Doi? Like
no, but
If
he
Retsos leaves / gets injured, we're screwed right now.
no, but also he kind of represents what I want Olympiacos to do. It's like what we did with Red Sauce coming back. It's exactly what Turkish club does sometimes, like bringing back Turkish player or players with Turkish nationality abroad to Turkey, because they gave them a chance. And we should have done that with Saliakas, for example, this summer. Homegrown players to get a second chance. Will Red Sauce moan if he's not playing? No, he's not. He's not Endoy. He has the good mentality. He will work. He will be quiet, and he will wait for a chance. And we need more players like that. I mean, with 11 Red Sauce on the team, we wouldn't have better results, but probably we would have better atmosphere, better locker room, better stuff like that.
Well, I think we do. We haven't really touched on Brinic's first ever start for Olympiacos. It's not his debut, but it is his first ever start, if I'm not mistaken. At least on an actual game, on a professional game, on a non-friendly. He played down the left. I think he showed enthusiasm. He showed freshness. I liked his runs. He did make mistakes. He did lose the ball. He did give the ball away. I wasn't stunned, but I do want to see more of him. It's like I just had a salad that wasn't great, but I'm still hungry. I still want more. I don't want to leave the restaurant. I don't want to leave the table. I want to have more. So I want to give him a chance. But I wasn't stunned by his debut. He definitely didn't expose Diego Martinez like we were talking about in the WhatsApp group. Guys, join us on Patreon and do like and subscribe. Let's start with Martial this time. Martial, what did you make of Brinic's first ever start for Olympiacos?
Well, I hope it's not the last time we see him, because the thing he needs right now is coming in on the next game. But it will be in January, so I might suspect him leaving on loan. So, and to answer your question, I wasn't expecting him to be that good today, unless we would have scored quickly, like to break the dreadlock quickly. Otherwise, I knew he was going to struggle because, first of all, Kashrida is a very good defender for Atromitos, I mean. And it was like, I wouldn't wish to be in that situation because you have a chance to play for Olympiacos, but you can't waste it because you probably will sub it off at halftime if you're not making differences. So what can you expect from a player in that situation? He was not good, not bad, average, just below average to me.
What do you reckon, Labro?
No, he didn't look like the player that Martial and I watched this summer. I remember one chance he cut in on his right foot and had a really good shot, and he looked really good. Do you remember that, Martial? You remember that?
Yeah.
He came in off the left. It was going the opposite side of the stadium. He cut in on his right foot and had a great shot. And I think he played 15 minutes that day, and you were like, oh, wow, this looks like a good player. And then he was like disappeared, take style Liam Neeson. And I can't imagine being Brinic, and let me look. Like, I don't want to make excuses for people, but it is December 21st now. The temperature is almost like, 10 degrees in Greece, 8 degrees. And the last time he played was like in August, September. It's like, and then you expect him to kind of make it happen and score goals and take more risks. Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? It's just like a bit mentality was probably, I'll tell you what has happened to almost like every Olympiacos player in the past like 18 months. I'd say they get promised things like Philip Zinkernagel, like, oh, Brinic, you're going to be the winger, you're going to make the Europa League side, you're getting into the team, and then you're Brinic, and by the end of August you're not included in the Europa League team, you're not played in any league games, the season is shit for you, you're not playing at all, you call your agent, you say, fuck, I need a loan, they screwed me here. And then 2 weeks ago your agent calls you, they say, oh yeah, they just got rid of Diego Martinez, get ready, you're playing in a week for Carlos Carvalhal. And he says, who the hell is Carlos Carvalhal? He Googles him, says he's been a manager of 25 teams in 10 years. And he goes, oh shit, here we go. And then Carlos Carvalhal says, okay, get out there on the left. You haven't even put football boots on in a year or 3 or 4 months, but get out there. The team needs you. You get out there, you're a bit rusty. And then the coach says, fuck me, you're shit. Get off at halftime.
What's in that coffee? What's in that Greek coffee they make in America?
Brinic was shit. Martinez was right. He shouldn't have played him. Look, young players are shit. They can't make it at the club. We need to sign another 35-year-old James Rodriguez. Like, it's like a repeating death cycle. There's like a repeating death cycle at this club sometimes, it feels. And I swear to God, if Augustine Ba came on in the 78th minute and fucking Yorgos from, I don't know, Kalithea would be tweeting, oh shit, Ba sucks, he didn't score, why did he come on, he's useless, B team. It's the same story. Like, we need to sign a rejected Solbakken from Roma, and for him to be complete shit and to go home in December for people to be like, oh, at least he played for Roma once though. So anyway, my opinion of Brinic is that, I think for anyone coming to this club, it's a complete and utter disaster. Like, in the past 18 months, I would say at least, it's been a complete disaster. Like, if you're an agent and you brought your client here, you and your client have been lied to. The performances have been bad. There's been 6 managers within 14 months. Like, are we really shitting on Pep Biel too? Because it's like, Pep Biel, you didn't perform, you're shit. Pep Biel doesn't even know the manager's name before he's fired. He's like, ah, shit, he like gets here. He's like, oh, Carlos Corporan, nice to meet you. Nope, psych, fuck that guy. We have a new manager. And then Michel gets there. He's like, oh, Michel, do you have another name? Nope, psych, you're fired too. Inigo, do you have another name? Nope, you're fired too. We have another manager. He goes, oh, finally, I know Diego Martinez. Nope, Diego Martinez sucks. Now it's Carlos.
How many coffees have you had today, man?
No, I'm trying to imagine if I'm Pep Biel. Like, imagine if you were at work, and you get into your new job, you're all excited, and boom, your boss is fired. Oh shit, maybe he sucked. Oh no, 2 months later, your new boss got fired. 2 months later,
I don't think it's
so
the
4
same,
months
man.
later,
I don't think it's the
your old
same.
boss gets fired, and then 2 months later, you get a new manager. So, if
No,
I was thinking of it from my own professional standing, I would say, you know what, there may be something wrong with upper management here. Maybe maybe it's not the manager's fault. So
the
I don't.
thing with Bernich is like when you have like 15 numbers of girls on your phone and you try to go out with each one of them. At the end of it, you know you have no option yet. You go for the sure one that will say yes, I will go on a date with you, and you expect that day to be good. It's not happening. It's not happening. You're not putting good energy on it.
No.
There is no way Bernich would have come good from that night. It's not possible. He knew at first it was a poison gift.
It's so bad, but
It's so when you think about it, it's just imagine if he's loan in January and the only start he had was in Peristeri. How disrespectful is that?
No, but I'm just like trying to think if I like let's say like anything. Let's say you
Labro
are
special.
no, but imagine you were a student, like, oh sweet, I like brought my
Oh
school
God, no more
bag. I
examples,
just went to a
please,
new
Labro.
school. My name is Pepe Bieli. I'm at the new school in Spain.
Oh my God.
And a month into my gig, my teacher gets fired. I go, oh shit, what the hell? And then 3 months later, the new teacher gets fired too. You go, what the hell? And then you have the caretaker manager, and they say, okay, don't worry. Year 2, we're bringing in the good manager. Like, do not worry. And then 3 months into the new manager, he gets fired, or the new teacher, he gets fired too. And then you get the substitute teacher who is taught at 28 schools in like 10 years. And they're like, don't worry. This is the teacher. Like, this is the guy who is going to be the teacher of all teachers. And you're looking at your classmates and you go, there's no way this guy's going to be the teacher forever, So
Okay. Labro,
anyway, that's
Labro.
Let's calm down
a little bit because we are closing into an hour. And
okay, sorry.
I do believe
sorry,
we need
Juan.
to
Too much coffee. Much coffee.
we Labro. This is the thing, man. You cannot. You need to be on the show more often, man. You need to make the time.
I'm sorry, guys. I save these things
No,
up.
no,
These
no,
little
you need-
analogies. I have like a little box, and
No,
I know
no,
some
you don't
people-
understand.
yeah.
This is gold. This is gold right here. But you're not showing up for the shows. You show up like once a month. We can't. We need to talk about this, guys. We need to have a meeting. Ari, Costa, if you're watching, we need to have a team meeting. Anyway, I think what we need to
That's
talk
enough.
about.
That's enough. That's enough from me.
No, it's not enough. We still have things to talk about. And one of the things we have to talk about is Daniel Podence. Because when it comes to these kind of matches, these cluster kind of matches, these matches where you cannot score, you can't find space, you're struggling to get the final pass through, who are you looking to? You're looking at your big personalities, your big stars. Daniel Podence, he is arguably Olympiacos' most well-known player right now, if you ask a Premier League fan. And his inconsistent performances continue in my book. We saw some really poor shots today, especially one where he missed from the from the penalty box and he sent it out wide. His finishing was always a problem, but it just continues right now, and he's not being the leader, the mentor that we're looking at, the star who's going to sort it out for the team. And like I said on the Patreon group, you guys, the more I see him play, the more I see why Gary O'Neill dropped him from his Wolves squad. So what do you guys make of Podence? Labro, should I dare ask? No examples of schools and workshops and restaurants.
No examples, but there's a reason Daniel Podence came back to Olympiacos and is not playing in the Premier League anymore, right? That's it. Podence. Okay, pot is not legal in Washington D.C. Let's make that clear. So
Plus,
anyway.
you're not like that with pot. It's like MDMA that gets you like that.
Yeah, it's coffee. That's fine. Anyway, my opinion of Podence is just I felt like tonight was like the worst of Daniel Podence, where it was like, what were the shitty memories of Daniel Podence a few years ago? Like when he left, it was exactly this stuff. No more examples, no more examples. But what I'm trying to say is just like the lost opportunities, the kind of, just he just didn't seem on. I guess like he's a very hot and cold player to me. Um, I think that was the biggest thing for me. It just felt very hot and cold. I know Martial had his. I don't have many analogies for this one. It's just sometimes he's on it and he looks
just
like a
do it,
world
man.
beater. Sometimes he's not. Martial.
No, I think the fact that he came back to Greece probably, and I insist on probably because I might be wrong, but it's mainly due to him wanting to be a key player again, like the big
Yeah.
name, the big fish of the team, of a team that will fight for a title in his league, because he has a playing style that suits that. We've seen in the past, but as Lambro said, like we've seen the most annoying part of Pudence's game tonight, because the thing I can't understand is why he has so much issues with shooting. How can he be so poor at shooting when he's like well placed in the area? The situation in which he could have won a PK, but the shot he made was so poor, and the one after that, also in a good position in the area, like he has no power in his leg. Every goal he scores from outside the box, it's well placed shot in the net, but it's not powerful shots. And it did not improve a lot. It did not improve a single bit on that when he moved to England. So when you see Podence, when, when you see Podence playing, like, can you tell he's been playing in the Premier League? It's not visible to me.
Yeah.
But also, but at the end of it, like I can't really blame him tonight because
He's
uh,
last in the line, let's say, to be
no,
blamed.
but the thing I would say is that Potenza is a good player, but it's not someone that can carry a team uh, toward a title. And also, when you compare what he's offering to the team in terms of sustainability over a season, like it's so far away from like someone like Valbuena brought to the team. Because I don't see Potenza. I'm not talking about personality or stuff like that, but Valbuena's main ability for me was the link he had with El Harabi, meaning the link he
Yeah.
had with the striker. And do we see Podence having a link with other teammates? Like it doesn't even have a link with Fortunis when they play together. It does not really have a link with the striker. And I wonder if he's not like is might be too harsh to say that, but is the very biggest example of a fake good player. Like when you see him play, he's a good player. But when you see him play over a season, when you analyze when he bring to the team, what he's not bringing to the team, you start wondering if he's a real good player.
Well, he did start really well, despite the fact he had zero preseason with Olympiacos. And I do want to bring this up. I mean, first of all, if I may have a little parenthesis, people are asking us to talk about Kougias. We did that in the beginning of the show, guys. So when the live is over, you can rewatch the show, and it's literally the first thing we discuss is Kougias. So if you look at Olympiacos, we scored 24 goals in our first 8 league matches. That's 3 goals per match. And after that PAOK game, it's when it all started going downhill. And I do believe that PAOK game probably really hit the team's confidence. But remember those 4-0 wins over Kifisia, Lamia, Atromitos. Uh, I'm going to dare say we could have probably scored 3 against Panathinaikos in that second half if that dipshit didn't throw that firecracker at Juancar. I honestly believe Olympiacos were on fire in that second half after all those amazing performances. And one of the reasons was Podence. And people are mentioning PAOK right now. And yeah, PAOK are the best team right now, but now is where they're starting, to find their groove. And what they need now is consistency, especially ahead of the playoffs, who are expected to be extremely grueling and intense. Uh, So yeah, guys. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
see what you're saying,
if
Marcial. I see what you're
if
saying, Marcial. But
Costa,
like,
can I
yeah,
mention
Digno.
something going back?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you look
sure.
at PAOK, I hate to say it to you, but look at their teacher. I hate to do it with the reference again, but if I am a PAOK player, aka a student, I go to school in August, and my teacher has been there for years. He went on a trip to Saudi Arabia to get the bag, like most people do these days. But my teacher knows the league. My teacher knows the players. He's won some
Lucescu is
trophies.
very rich. He doesn't need money. One thing he doesn't
Yeah,
need
he
is
wears
money.
Montclair jackets and wears beanies all the time. I'm pumped with my teacher. And then I look at my versus my opponents
Yeah.
with the guy who's managed 25 teams in 10 years, 25 schools, and I look over and I go, I feel confident. Like, my guy has been through derbies. Like, my guy has fought through everything. He went invincible, and we're going to go to war here. Versus Carlos Carvalhal could be gone in February. Like, let's be real here. Like, I'm not claiming that, but let's go by upper management standards. Like, if you draw or lose to Atromitos a few times, he could be gone by February. Like, this is not outside the
And
cards. So as a
Lucescu
player,
contract
you
runs
are
out
not.
in June. So if Carvalhal doesn't work, I think that's what Marinak's going to do in the
Well,
summer. He's
what
going for
I'm just saying is just we have an untested manager to the league who hasn't had a preseason, who doesn't know most of the players.
Well, he's not untested though. What do you mean untested in Greece?
Well, untested in the league. He's never coached in the
Yeah.
league. He coached for Asteras Tripoli.
Yeah, well, he had a coffee break. He had a coffee at
He had
Asteras.
a coffee break. But you know what I mean? It's going to be very difficult to go into derbies against managers like Jovanovic, Almeida, and Lucescu, who have played these derbies. They've played 2 to 3 years of these derbies, man. Like, they've played 2 to 3 years of these playoffs. And Carlos Carvalhal has not even played a derby yet. And it's just, oh my, you can see there's this small window where this could work, we're going to pull it off. And then there's the massive window where it's we are so fucked. There's the small window where you're this is the hope right here. We're going to slide in and we're going to win the league. Carlos Carvalhal, he may have failed at every place he's gone in the past 10 years, but here he's going to work.
He didn't fail at Sheffield Wednesday and Swansea. He didn't fail in
big
England.
Window, and you're holy shit, we've had 6 managers in 15 months. This guy has not stayed anywhere for more than 9 months in the past 5 or 7 years. We are so fucked. And upper management has not done a good job in years, that's correct, in signing players. And so it's so hard to get the fans fired up. Carvalhal is going to save us. Don't worry, everyone. Let's be real here, right? And then other people are saying the players are shit. Don't worry, we have Alves. Now he's going to bring players. When was the last time any club signed 6 players we need 5 or 6 players, and they were boom, on it, and they're starters in your club? Let alone this club. When is the last time this club has ever done that? So I just don't want to sell anyone a prayer. The prayer is Kostas Fortounis just fucking carrying us to the league this season. That is our hope and dream at this point. But I don't want to be negative.
We are past an hour though, and I think this is a good little
I'm being positive here. I'm trying to be positive.
To our final little topic before man of the match and coach's grade, which is, I mean, let's face it, guys. I mean, we are going to be active in the January transfer window. I mean, come on now. Is the Pope Catholic? Before we do that, guys, I mean, if anyone hasn't done so already, please do like and subscribe to keep the channel growing. And also join us on Patreon, because if you thought that was hilarious by Labros, wait until you join our WhatsApp group. It is insane. So, guys, January.
I want to say one thing, Costa. I don't come on the podcast as well very often because so many people get mad at me for being too negative and hate, and people say I'm too mean to the team and I'm saying bad things. So I try when I know I'm going to be negative to not be on the show or to say things, and I know I upset a lot of people, but I'm just trying to be sarcastic here, like make a joke or two. I'm sorry to all the people who get sad and I just don't know how anyone's positive like supporting this club the past 18 months. Like I don't know how anyone is like, no, I'm positive. Like I see great things. The only great things you come on to see is like Fortunis with like 3 goals versus Panserikos, and you're like, oh my god, I love this guy. But then everything else is just so hard to watch, man. The past 18 months, like I've sat here quietly and watched all of the games, but I'm just trying to be positive. So gonna keep
Well,
it
I mean,
going.
it is. First of all, we would like to share some thank yous. We have 2 new patrons in our team, guys. Let's say hello to Sicario and Dimitris. Sicario and Dimitris, thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy the fun that's coming. If you haven't done so already, guys, well, just letting you know that Sicario and Dimitris going to be having a lot more fun than you will from now on, unless you join us on Patreon, patreon.com/gate7intl. So moving on to the January transfers, I'm just going to keep it short. Before the Atromitos game, I was thinking to myself, this team needs a minimum of 2 signings, and that is none other than a center back and a number 6. That's it. End it there. But after seeing tonight and after hearing that Ola Solbakken is going goodbye, I mean, unless there's no one from the B team, of course, the same goes for the number 6 and the center back. If there is someone from the B team that can elevate us in those positions, fucking go for it. But let's face it, they're not. We're probably going to need a winger. And based on what we've seen in the number 9 position today, you guys, considering El Kabi will be gone for the Africa Cup of Nations from January until February, with Morocco, who are favorites to win it after what they did in the World Cup, which means he could be gone for a month. And he's going to miss games against AEK, Panathinaikos, and PAOK. We're going to need the number 9, you guys. So what I'm saying is 2 signings minimum, but those are non-negotiable. Number 6 and center back. 4 max. No Crespo, that guy from Fenerbahce who doesn't play. So that includes a winger and a striker. Marcial, what does Olympiacos need in the January transfer window?
I'm gonna drop a bomb, but we need a coach like Mitchell more than signings.
So a new manager.
Let's
New
go.
manager.
I've seen the comments.
Examples. Come on, Labro. Labro. Here we go. Examples.
But
No.
I've seen the comments. I do agree with is that we don't need players. We need something to build on. And at first, I believe we need a center back because it's needed, and we need a number 6. But we probably need to get rid of 10 players on this team, which is Richards, Kinney, Iborra, Solbakken, Biel, which is 5. Scarpa is 6.
But when we need
not
fullbacks,
10, but 6.
sorry to interrupt you. When we need fullbacks, because Keeney and Richards goes. I mean, if Leitner is ready to go, then that's okay at left back. But what about right back?
Right back, yeah, we need a right back, but
Vrusai and Biancon can play there, of course, but they're not natural right backs.
No,
If
yeah, you're right.
Rodinei gets injured,
You're right.
that is.
What we need is it's as you said, center back and a number 6, because I don't really think that Madi and Hesse can be the pair that wins the title. We need long-term signings, and it's very difficult to find players like that in January, except if you shop on the South American market, because contracts there ends in December. But we need intern solution. We need promoting players from the inside. That's just a personal opinion, but I would rather end up being second or third if I just see 1 or 2 players from the academy being on the lineup for the summer to come, because what's more important than the title, it's the summer that would come, and we come very quickly. Let's not forget that Tsolakis is out of contract in June. We have made a huge number of players out of contract, so
As
we need
Alex as
also,
well.
yeah, we need to decide who to renew. The amount of work that is needed is insane, and I have no trust in this club to fix the holes we have in the team. And Lambros spoke about the teacher of PAOK, and you always have to have 6 months or 1 year of advance in the planning, and we don't have those players in the team. Like Bagalianis, man, is not good. It's not a top player, but he should be playing with us, or Kalogiropoulos, instead of loaning
Yeah.
him to Volos. He should be playing for us
He
because
would have been playing for us, but he took too long to sign the new deal. That's why he's playing with Volos now.
yeah, man. What if we lose Tsolakis on a free? What
Yeah.
if, yeah, man, I just can't project myself in bringing new players because, or maybe if it's to bring back like Altrove on loan, like cut his loan to Portugal and bring him to the team to play him, I would be okay for that. If you cut Agibu's loan and bring him back to the team, okay. But just bringing more players won't solve the issue.
Yeah, but let's be real. So the real situation we have on our hands here is that the club has moved back to George Mendes, and that is what we're looking at. So I have your players here. The real situation, yeah, what Martial said would be great, but we're living in the real world where we have the management we have. So what are we looking at here? I have a list of players just under the $3.5 million range. George Mendes clients. Helder Costa cut from Leeds. Looks like a good transfer for Olympiacos. I don't know. He's on a free.
What's position?
He's a winger. I don't know why he left the club in October of 2023. Anyway, that's a name. He's a George Mendes client. I'm looking at Ruben Vezo, center back for Levante. Right center back could be an option. I'm looking at another center back from Porto, Fabio Cardoso, at 4 million euros. That's another option.
We're gonna get someone like Elder Costa for sure.
Yeah, 20, like shitty, mediocre player, client of Mendes is for sure on the cards. So Cardoso is 29, plays for Porto. Plays for Porto, made one appearance this year. I think he's pretty solid. Oh no, he's made more appearances, excuse me. Looks pretty solid option. Going down the list, also Samu Costa, defensive midfielder of Almeria.
Yeah, it's another Mendes club.
Yeah, that could be an option. And right back, I have a player for you guys, Thomas Esteves.
Yeah, we've been linked to him before.
We've been linked to him before, a right back who is on loan at Pisa in Italy. Pisa, is that how I say it?
Pisa, Pisa. It's the Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, and he's on loan there. Or no, he's transferred there from FC Porto. I don't know. That could be one. You know, those are the transfers that Olympiacos is probably looking to make. So with Nuno Espirito Santo at Forest, with Carvalhal here, we are fully back to like the Mendes way of clients. Like that's for sure. Like they're both Mendes people. So when you go up and down his client list, I think that's where you get a good idea. Like, look at how many players we've been linked to on this client list. Ivan Cavaliero, you remember the winger, the one who played in Russia, I believe. He's now playing for Lille.
What we need to find is someone like Eliasson, like I find in French markets. You know, not a big name, but a good player, like someone like Masuras when we took him to Panionios. Ready. Yeah. Not a big name, but that would be useful for the team.
But you look through the list, you know, like you look through the list of clients of Mendes, and you kind of get an idea. You like, I don't know if you guys saw, but Andre Silva was linked in the media. Like,
of course, he's been linked. Who
do you think his agent is, right? Like, who do you think Podence's agent is, right? So
Yeah, of course.
So you go down the list, we're obviously on the lower end of of the list if we're being real, and there's not a lot of great talent there. So I don't know. Do you trust the club to make the right decisions in this window? It's the
No,
first we're going to see of
absolutely not.
our new
In fact, alone
sporting
that they
director.
sacked Diego Martinez, we're back in Groundhog Day.
Oh, but how many signings do you think the club makes? Yes, like don't give me the Martial, like, oh, we can take Carlos Yeropoulos. Like, this is Olympiacos. We know how this club works. 8?
I go with 5. 5.
I think
I can
more.
see I can see something useless. I can see something needless, like a number 8 coming in.
So let's go through the position. You need a central defender for sure.
Center back, number 6, 100%.
Number
Those
6.
are the 2 non-negotiables.
You need a winger,
a striker,
and you need a striker. So that's 4. You need a
and I think
backup
they're going
right
to go
back.
for number 8.
You need a backup right back.
Well, not necessarily, because, like we said, like if Kini goes, which he probably is, there's Biancon and Vrusai who can play the position if Rodine gets injured.
Okay, so.
But no, you're right. You're right. Like there could be something needless, and I'm thinking a number 8. Like I think that.
But that's 5 must-have. We have 5 must-have right now.
No. I'm talking about a nonsense signing, an extra nonsense signing.
But
the 4
or 5, 4 may for sure, right? But if we go off like Olympiacos that we know, I think you're looking at 6 to 8.
I think it's going to be.
I think you take another. I think they may take 2 strikers, maybe. I don't know.
Oh my god! No, but
they are feeling the pressure.
The thing is,
look at that. He's not doing 8 deep dives.
I'm not doing well. It's better than 15, isn't it, Adi? We went from 15 to 8.
But what we need is getting rid of,
right? I think
what we need is getting rid of loanies apart from Podence and Alexandropoulos and replace them in number by signings. We need a right back backup. We don't need a left back backup because Leitner is due to come back.
Richards, though? You keep Richards?
No,
for me neither.
You need to.
I'd give him the chance because he is
at
his best is really good.
You need 2 centre back to replace Freire and Poroso.
You think Freire and Poroso are done?
You need 2 offensive infighter to replace Scarpa and Solbakken.
And Pep Biel may be gone as well.
Yeah, true. 3. So, and when you
okay, what's the number though? What's the number? So we can move to
I'm stick with 8.
8. Okay.
But I think, if you look, Pep Biel, what is the chances he stays?
In the summer, no chance. In January, I give him a few chances of staying. In January, in the summer, no chance.
I agree.
I just can answer to the question. On
Biancone,
sure. I wasn't a very big fan when he came because I thought it made no sense. But I kind of appreciate what is offering for the moment, and I was kind of disappointed he did not start tonight because he needs to play. And what frustrates me, it's we're coming back on the same topic again, but like when we will find a coach that say, okay, Ndoye was made as a number 6. We don't have number 6 today. Madi is out. Why not using Biancone and put Ndoye as a 6 to try if it can work against Atromitos that wasn't going to be a threat during the game? And as long as we don't have a manager that takes risks like that, we will need 8 to 10 signing every market, every mercato.
Okay, guys. So we are almost 1.5 hours in. Labro, final thing.
So I went into Nottingham Forest's team. I think most likely is Felipe we see.
Well, he has been linked with Olympiacos, but those links have gone down because of fan reaction, I reckon, fan backlash, I reckon. We haven't heard of his name for ages now.
I'm looking through their squad list. I don't think they have anyone else we could take at the moment. Like
Sheku Kouyaté.
I'm fearing Sheku Kouyaté.
Check
Exactly.
Kouyaté. Check Kouyaté is one for
I'm
sure.
thinking.
But
Can he play number 6? He's an 8, isn't he? He's not a 6, is he?
no, he's a 6. Come on.
He is.
Yeah.
Is that what he played at West Ham and
He's
Palace?
a 6. No, Martial? No.
Yeah, he's a 6. I think he's a 6.
Okay. Sorry.
But I'm looking through the list. Chris Wood.
Well, I think in
Not
Greece he'd be
ideal.
really good. I'm sorry, I said it. In Greece, he'd probably be
Are
really
you
good.
serious?
Yes. In
He's
Greece, yes.
horrible. He's
In
terrible.
Greece, he would be. In Greece, I think he would be. In England, he's done, but in Greece, I think he'd be good.
What about Scott McKenna at center back?
No. Plus,
It's
he's
Chris
leaving Nottingham.
Poto.
He's leaving Nottingham he's leaving Nottingham altogether. So they're not gonna. He's not gonna agree to a loan. Neither will Joe Worrell.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So
So not looking good on that side of the.
Well, what's not looking
Okay.
good is that we have to pick a man of the match in this one. I think we know Coach's grade right now. I'm going to make it quick. Coach's grade C minus. I mean, a team with no imagination, no organization, no tactics. The only thing that went well was the defense. Really, that was it. The upside is the clean sheet on this one. So. Also, the fact that he didn't make any changes after Jovic, it's insane that he didn't bring on Alex. Plus, I mean the lineup as well. Why don't start Alexandropoulos instead of Carvalho? Why not start Biancon? Who I agree totally with Martial. It didn't cost us in this match that Biancon didn't start, but the fact is he needs to play. He needs to get games. He needs to get consistency. He needs to find rhythm. Doi is not a center back. He is a number 6. We haven't seen him as a number 6, but that's what his performances show that, and his tackles show that. So I don't agree with the lineup. I do not agree with the fact he didn't make changes. I hated the attack, so it's a C minus, and I feel like that's I'm being nice. When it comes to man of the match, I cannot give it to an attacking player. It's just impossible to give it to an attacking player. So I'm going to give it to Retsos because you know what? He was solid in his defensive duties, and he offered solutions when he attacked. Some really good runs. We saw him dribbling. We saw him breaking inside the area from the right wing, which is totally not his job, but he did a better job than our wingers tonight when it came to this. So to me, Retsos man of the match. But it's more like a best of the worst, guys, right? So Labro, man of the match, Coach's grade.
Well, I only have one man of the match, and I brought out a graphic to show it. My man of the match is. Do you see that?
I can.
That is Nikos Vertis, who has released his Christmas Bouzoukia schedule. I know our Greek players will be there. I want to wish Nikos Vertis strong performances. It's a tough schedule. He plays 23, 24, 25, 30, 31, and the first. So his voice is going to be shot. So I know our players will be there supporting him. I just want to wish Nikos Vertis a Merry Christmas schedule, a Happy New Year. I know he's going to perform. He's an experienced veteran of the game. He's been in the tough conditions. He knows how to do it. So he will be my man of the match over the Christmas break. Coach's grade, again, D+ from me for Carvalhal. Just absolutely very fearful in not making a sub and taking out the players he knows and not trusting what he doesn't know. To be honest, it looked like a coach who was too worried to try something new. And you know what? We needed that burst of pace in the midfield. I'm fearful Carvalho is going to be a player we're going to see more from, unfortunately. So that's my coach's grade. Just not good enough on the changes. In reality, also, man of the match is Jovic for me. But go ahead, guys.
Martial, what's your coach's grade? Who's your man of the match? And please don't say Nikos Vertis.
No,
Please do.
The coach's grade would be D+ too, because the thing I wanted to say on that is that I wonder why, when you bring a coach that works on a daily basis with the staff, why it takes them so long to figure out who can they use, who they can't use, and stuff like that. Like if you offer me the job in Brighton or in Celta Vigo or in Union Berlin, I will look like for hours to find the players, to find the B team players, under 19 players that are relevant. And I'm not even using data, but so imagine Carvajal with the staff. And this game tonight is a D plus for him, because it scares me to see how long it takes for coaches to adapt to the club. I know Olympiacos is a mess. The Greek league is a mess. You can say that as much as you want, but I don't buy the fact that you need that long of a time to just adapt to the club, which is the best club of the league, biggest budget of the league, biggest number of contracts, biggest everything. And the man of the match will be Red Sauce for me, because it frustrates me that we are not able to use what he can bring, because he's a very modern player. It won't be a surprise for me if he attracts offers at the end of the season, because surely, and Ari probably will have my back on that, his data are good. And today he could have scored 2, because he could have scored that header on the corner that went into the crossbar. Also, he almost had an assist with a nice run. So he's a man of the match, and I will end my speech by saying I agree 100% that we needed Ibagasa until the end of the season.
Well, I now that we have passed the hour and a half mark, I do want to end this on a positive note, because there are positives in this, believe it or not. Well, we have had a few comments here saying that it did take long to bring in a director, it did take long to bring a manager in the summer. We were very unlucky with Antonio Cordon, because like I said, guys, like I had a conversation today. I wasn't given details, but I'm having thoughts in my head based on how I heard it, and it doesn't sound good. Like Antonio Cordon is dealing with a serious family matter. Like I'm gonna channel in my inner Laburos, and I'm gonna say that imagine you're at your work, a family member gets something really bad. How good are you going to be at your job? And that happened during the summer. Cordon did not work during a great deal of the summer. Vangelis Marinakis has stood by his side and is still standing by his side. We didn't have any other option but to bring someone else in Pedro Alves. Antonio Cordon is not done with Marinakis. He will be the group coordinator. Hopefully his matter will be resolved as quickly and as smoothly and as happily as possible. And when it comes to Carvalhal, like, I did not want Diego Martinez to be sacked. I wanted him to get more time. I wanted him to build the team. I wanted him to help. Mikel Arteta, with zero experience, took over Arsenal. He had the worst Premier League start a year ago, and they stuck by him. And look what he's doing right now. Look what he did last season. What I'm trying to say is now it's Carlos Carvalhal. We cannot go back in time. Carvalhal is not a bad manager. We cannot throw him. In my opinion, guys, I respect you both a lot and I love you a lot. I cannot tell you how much I love and respect you. We cannot get rid of Carlos Carvalhal. He's not a bad manager. He did a great job at Sheffield Wednesday. He made it to the playoff finals of the Championship in his first season. He made it to the playoffs in his second. With Swansea, he turned things around in the second season, but the damage was in the second round when he joined them. He turned things around, but in the first round when he wasn't manager, the damage was so bad that they were relegated and he couldn't stay because of budget issues, because of the relegation. In fact, he got like over 20 points in the second round as Swansea manager. He beat Liverpool the same year they made it to the Champions League final and lost to Real Madrid after they beat Swansea 5-0 at Anfield in their first leg. If he was manager in the first round and he managed to get at least half those points he got in the second round, they would have finished like 15th or 14th or 13th. And there is quality at Olympiacos. The players still haven't managed to learn what Carvalhal wants on the pitch. Hopefully this break will work in our favor. It's not a big break, but it is quite some break that we have ahead of us. I'm not. I know. I know Martial and Labros support Olympiacos to death, and they believe in Olympiacos, and they're very positive, and they're confident, and they're two of the best Olympiacos fans I've met. And I know, guys, you're gonna. And I know there's a lot of belief in the in this podcast.
That's true.
Last thing I want to say is Freire for sure gone as well.
Freire,
And
you said.
Freire, is he for sure gone? I read people
Uh,
saying he's leaving in January.
Who said? No, no. I hope he leaves,
No.
and I think I would assume he leaves, but I haven't heard something like that.
Okay.
It
don't
makes
know.
sense. He's on loan.
But if
We need
he-
a center back.
he's-
Borozo is good. Biancon is good. Get rid of Freire and bring
But
someone.
Porozo, what's up with him? He's just been injured as well, and
Mhm.
I give a
El Alabro,
positive example.
Yeah,
Okay.
he says, please come on. Sorry,
Remember, I
Marcial,
talked about the small window. I'm very sarcastic, and I like making what's it called, those jokes. So the small window. I'm looking at Carlos Carvalhal's CV right now, and he may have had a 25% win percentage at one of the biggest clubs, Walhada, and he may have had 35% at Celta, but he had 56% at Braga. And when I look at that CV, for every crappy job Carlos Carvalhal does, 2 or 3, there's a good one. There's a good one, guys. And so I'm looking out right now. I'm looking out and I see a window. It's open like that. And this is for Aris in the chat. The window is this big. It's small. But you know what? Carlos Carvalhal has gotten through that window before. And God willing, he signs 8 players and he goes, I don't want to say it. I don't want to do it again. Do I do it again? I think I'll do it again. He goes and sees one Nikos Vertis, and he listens to that beautiful music on Christmas night, and an idea comes into his head. And that idea is bin off all the shitty players and support Fortunis to lead us to victory. Buy another striker, find another bunch of good players, and the beautiful songs lead him to do that. And you know what? There we go. Carlos Carvalhal, January is the start of something beautiful. He brings in stability. He brings in amazing players. Olympiacos, the first team ever in football history to sign 8 players, and all of them are amazing 8 players, you know, and all of those players are great, and Podense is always good, and El Kabi learns how to dribble a football, and, you know, Christmas miracles happen across the club. And so on that note, we're hoping for a Christmas miracle. And again, Nikos Vertis, best of luck.
Yeah, but the thing is, Carvalhal is still remembered with love in Swansea and Sheffield and at Celta. Filiki Tromilidis, who works at the La Liga show, he told Sabrakos that Carvalhal told him Carvalhal went to a gas station in Vigo. They didn't let him pay. That's how much they love him in Vigo, at Celta.
But I want to say, so Hari says, let's go all Turkish. That comment was taken out of, that was a complete joke, and people thought I was joking. When we went with Marcelo and James, I made the joke, let's finish it, let's go all Turkish. So people never let me down. But I have another story, and it's interesting you mentioned that same gas station, because Martial and I this summer were driving through the Peloponnese, and we stopped in the beautiful city. I can't even say it with a straight face. We stopped in the beautiful city of Tripoli, and as we were filling up our gas, a man came running out and he said, "Martial, Labro, is that you?" I said, "Yes, it is." And the guy goes, "I don't want to tell you, but I remember
you have to say it now.
This manager, Carlos Carvalhal, he was the best manager we've ever seen at Asteras Tripoli. And I have a vision that after Diego Fraud Martinez is fired, Carlos will come and he'll save Olympiacos like he did to Asteras Tripoli." So that also happened at a different gas station, but this also happened. A gas station attendant in Tripoli came up to us and he said, "I've had a vision. Carlos Carvalhal is going to save Olympiacos." And I said to Martial, "That guy is probably high." No, I'm just joking. I said, "That guy is exactly right. When Diego Martinez screws this all up, I'm going to remember that guy in Tripoli who said Carlos Carvalhal, who won 2 games out of 10 for Tripoli, was misunderstood and needed more time." Anyway, that's it.
Okay, Marcial, I think we owe you some closing statements as well, and then we're going to bed. Us too, I mean, we're going to bed. Different beds. Different countries.
What can we say? Like, the feeling is that we've seen like players playing for the last time for Olympiacos tonight, and difficult to project myself into January. So maybe we'll have to focus on having good holidays for Christmas Eve and stuff, far away from Olympiacos reality for a few days before coming back with rumors of BL out on loan with option in Turkey.
Awesome,
I don't have any
guys.
conclusion on that.
Just remember the guy at the gas station, Martial, and when he said, "Martial, is that you?" and you said, "Oui, bien sûr, c'est moi," and the guy said, I had a vision, and it's Carlos Carvalhal, the greatest manager in Asteras Tripoli history.
But you don't remember when we were in Kalamata running around the stadium, the pub who came to me and said, "I have a vision, Barrales could play for Olympiacos."
He said Barrales after banging in goals.
He also said Tatos is a better football player than Biel will ever be.
Well, guys.
Tatos.
Well, guys, this has been a really good show. I had no idea we're going to go near 2 hours. Labro, so great to have you back, man. Hope to see you.
Great to be on.
Soon.
I hope I don't get destroyed by the guys who always say I'm too negative. I hope I was a bit positive at the end. So,
Labro, you are that's the thing. You don't understand. You're the superstar of this podcast. No one can be angry at you. You're everyone's favorite host. Marcial, Kostas, Aris, Dimitris, we cannot beat you. You're just
everyone has their favorite. They come for the analysis from Adi. They come for the sarcasm from me. They come for Valbuena and the interesting dives from Marcial talking about football. They come for the real level-headed and journalistic analysis from you.
Oh,
and
Dimitris my God.
Hasn't been on the show in a while, but I think he has the journalistic background as well. I'm still waiting for a show with him.
Well, Labro, it was great to have you. Marcial, I mean, your insight is always so valuable and so incredible and so
footballing genius, this man.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, guys, well, this has been all for us at Gate 7 International, you guys. We're going to update you on our next show because it's good. It's the we got Christmas and New Year coming up, so we're going to have to update you on our next appearance and our next show. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. Join us on Patreon if you haven't done so already. Patreon.com/Gate7INTL. And until then, guys, I mean, this has been really cool, really fun. Really glad to have you on this amazing night or day, wherever the hell you are. And we're going to see you again soon.